Okay guys, so a while ago I did a review on the Army AAP01 pistol. But ever since that I didn't really play with it, and recently I have seen a lot of hype regarding the pistol. A lot of people regarding it as peak performance, which in my opinion is totally bullshit. I indeed got the Gen 1, which I heard has some issues, but after playing it for one day in this version, I made this, let's say, call it the Carbine. Just a quick setup. I increased the barrel length to this is just a fixed suppressor all the way up here. I'm using a VSR 10 303mm barrel. The body is from a SSR 15 handguard, which is some sort of VSC handguard, I suppose. 3D printed this adapter, AR buffer, fixed stock, and I was using it gently with HPA with this drum mag here. So a couple problems start with. See this? And this is not the stock wobbling, it's just the outer barrel. The barrel of the pistol itself is just not fixed to it. Because if you want to, you can check my last review and you will see the outer barrel of the pistol is actually separated from the upper. And back then I didn't notice because it's shorter, but there is quite a lot of wobble on that piece. Then again, it's full plastic. But the muzzle thread is already becoming loose and I barely use it. Then again, plastic. They really went cheap on a lot of parts. Now, to performance issues. I was running with 120 psi, shooting 1.5 joules with 0.32 BBs. Which, if you can take a look at the pressure of green gas during 20 degrees, it actually reaches about around 140 psi. Even so, on HPA, which is consistent and clean and all that, the gun starts to light strike after one morning playing, so towards the end of the day, it was light striking on 120 psi. Another issue that for me it's a lot worse, since the light strike you can tune it, you are using HPA, the pressure doesn't vary depending on the temperature, you can actually somewhat live with it if you just find the sweet spot regarding the pressure. The bolt. So to make this gun kind of attractive, it's come with it's somewhat short stroked out of the box. It is a shorter travel to an extent, and to give this snapness that people been talking about, it has a really weak return spring, and my issue with it is a lot of times it doesn't snap back battery when you have a stack pressure on your magazine. So what it does, it just go back and it stays like this and it doesn't fire. You have to push it in to shoot. Overall, then again, they advertise it as cheapest gun pistol that is somewhat good. Won't argue with that, but I still wait to see it finally in stock everywhere for the initially advertised around 70 USD. Because currently on Europe is out of stock everywhere I can find, and they are more like 80, and after the shipping you are looking to pay 100 for it. This gun right now, it feels like a Jingang Bar 10. Except this time, only Action Army makes upgrade part for it. So all these fancy carbine conversions with the stock and suppressor and red dot plate. I'm pretty sure half of the accessories is gonna be as expensive as the gun. It's like a game that is free to play, pay to win. In stock form, I won't take this to a game ever again. It's just been unreliable, even though I was running it on HPA. And so far, there is the wobble issue on the barrel, and all the other problems just make me feel it doesn't offer me anything exclusive anymore. And while it is cheap, it doesn't help me at all. I mean, what are you gonna get with the money saved? No new hop chamber, no TDC. I mean, fix the barrel and they didn't TDC it. Come on. The trigger group, it's advertised as the inside of the trigger housing is Glock compatible. I can imagine that, but the outside is definitely not. And the bolt is heavy. It's heavy. The blowback spring is weak, and then again not compatible with anything. I kind of wanted to switch to a stronger recoil spring, but then I remembered this is hammering on the rear side, which is also plastic, and it's threaded to a plastic piece. So it's like a gun that you start to upgrade one part and everything else breaks, so you have to really replace everything. So I ended up not doing anything, and this just becomes a wall hanger. Not a kind of interesting, but definitely not the pretty thing. I mean, I had high hopes for this, but no, it's on accuracy wise, was not impressed. Even though I changed the hop up rubber, I changed it to a maple leaf. I also tried to R-hop it. I changed the barrel is actually I believe a maple leaf 303mm barrel. All that, the gun was cleaned, everything. The accuracy was not impressive at all. If I were to run 0.4 gram BBs, that's a little bit better. But between this and most of my guns in my collection, it doesn't shine. And the exclusiveness of it really makes me think this gun is not as nice to have as a lot of people make you to believe it is. It's a gun with right now no market support, just one brand, the own brand that makes it, and they are focusing on externals. On internals, the CR cast aluminum, everything, what's it called, the pot metal, but after firing through 2,000 rounds in a day, the wear on the trigger is not too bad. I mean, it still looks pretty good. So I would say the trigger quantity is on pair with WE, maybe slightly worse than KJ, but it's just didn't work out for me. I was kind of hoping to build a MP7 type of thing, but no, this just didn't cut it. The accuracy was lacking, the range was lacking. It does shoot fast, but to be honest, when I was full auto this thing every 3 to 5 shots, the bolt just gets stuck out of battery. Okay, so that's my opinion on it. I know it seems very negative, but honestly, I think if you're looking for a reliable weapon, they are guns with far better reputation and being on the market a lot longer than this. And given AA is definitely not the cheapest brand for upgrade out there. Their hop-up chamber, if not the most expensive, it's not the most expensive one, I know, but it's definitely not the cheapest. And their VSR10 parts are, I mean, they are kind of an economical choice, but that's because the competition is like Laylax and PDI. So I would expect when you finally deck out one of these pistols, it won't be any cheaper than the competition. I mean, it won't be cheaper than you build a fixed barrel head cap, it won't be cheaper than you build a fixed barrel Glock, and I certainly don't think it will perform better. I mean, for a Glock, you can get a lightweight blowback housing, a TTC barrel, all kind of cutout slide, holsters, yeah. And the thing, you have the freedom of choice, and this one is you just take what AA gives you and you're done. So unless you really like the form factor, otherwise this pistol has really nothing extraordinary to offer.